After years of being drawn in a group of death together with teams like Bayern Munich, Barcelona have finally had luck on their side again this season in Champions League draw. FC Porto, Shaktar Donetsk and Antwerp. That doesn't seem too difficult, right? Definitely compared to groups like the one with PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan and Newcastle. And it's an absolute must for Xavi to end up on top of this kind of group. But it might not be as easy as most of you are thinking. Why? Well, that's what we'll discuss in this video, so let's just get right to it. The first opponent Barcelona will have to face are Royal Antwerp FC. The easiest one in the group, right? Well, I'm from Belgium personally and I can tell you that this is not a team to mess with. They've got Toby Alderweireld as their captain, but for the rest their team is still very young and inexperienced. So where do Barcelona have to look out for then? Well, they're not the strongest team offensively, they're more known for being hard to score against and they also play with a lot of enthusiasm and pressure. So Barcelona will have to be actually good to beat Antwerp twice. They will probably defend in a low block and play with a lot of intensity, like we've seen teams in La Liga already do, Osasuna for example. And if Barcelona are not at their best, we've seen that they can struggle against these kind of teams. It'll be crucial to play with a lot of movements and high pace and score as early as possible. Because also you have to realize that these kind of teams live for the Champions League games against big names like Barcelona, especially in the away tie in December. That will make things extra hard. So Antwerp is probably going to be kind of comparable to La Liga opponents like Osasuna, I'd say. And it's not going to be easy, and Barcelona will actually have to be good to get past them. And they're only considered the weakest team in the group. Because next up is FC Porto, the team I think everyone agrees on as Barcelona's strongest opponents. And they definitely are. Last season they only just lost the league title race to Benfica, and in the Champions League they got further than we did. They topped their group with Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen and Club Brugge and got eliminated by Inter after two closely contested games. In that same season we were not able to beat Inter both away from home and at the Camp Nou. So the difference between Barcelona and Porto might not be that big at the moment, especially considering that they've got a little more experience in the Champions League in recent years than our young core of players that still hasn't had too much Champions League experience. And if you realize that 2 years ago we finished below Benfica in our UCL group, after losing 3-0 at their stadium, you know that Porto won't be a walk in the park either. Now, how will these games actually be? Well, Porto won't sit deep like a lot of teams do against Barcelona, and they might very well look to put a lot of pressure against us. And also try to lure on counterattacks, as that is a big weakness of Xavi's Barcelona like we saw multiple times last season. It's especially away against Porto that I think would be a real statement to go and win, in a stadium with a lot of noise that comes off quite hostile. If we can beat Porto twice, then it'd basically mean we will top our group. But from the moment we start to lose points against anyone, they will be the ones who might end up ahead of us. And you really want to finish on top of your group to not come up against teams like Man City in the round of 16 already. Last, we still have Shaktar Donetsk, a team that has been consistently showing up in the Champions League for a long while now already. They shouldn't be too much of a problem for Barcelona honestly. Some years ago they were really a threat to big teams and they could cause real upsets. But recently their squad has declined a little bit and they haven't been able to play at home due to the war in Ukraine. So for them the situation is far from ideal. The bottom line is, this team might not be easy, but again, Barcelona should be able of beating them twice. And honestly, I think that this might even be our easiest opponent. Eventually, as a Barcelona fan, you do expect Barcelona to easily top this group. But if we don't show up every game, which we know can happen from what we've seen thus far in La Liga, we might be at danger of not ending up on top, with a team like Porto that might very well have a great campaign too. It doesn't help of course that Barcelona won't be able to play at the Camp Nou and there will be injury problems that will limit Xavi's team from being at its best. So it will be more difficult than people actually think. But in the end, we are the best out of these four teams, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for Barcelona to get some confidence in European games. Something that we desperately need. And if you end up on top, chances are you will have a relatively easy draw in the knockout stages. But if you don't, things might be over for Barcelona already rather early. That's why it's very important to end up on top. And it's nothing less than a necessity if you look at our group. But we will have to be at our best in every game, so I just hope we don't underestimate any of these teams. That was it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your own opinion on our Champions League group in the comments down below. Forza Barça and have a good day.